Hey, Crow here, and welcome to another Lost Ark video guide. Today I'm going to explain few systems that are mainly there as a catch-up mechanic for your alts as you progress through the content on your main character. First thing I will talk about is the Knowledge Vault, which is found in this spot right here. By the way, the costumes that we got as apology gifts are pretty damn great. So, in your stronghold, what we are looking for is the Knowledge Vault. You will unlock this feature once your first character completes the main story in Vern. To put simply, this is the system that automatically completes the story progression of your character for a certain amount of gold. Even though the system is similar to the Power Pass you get for the first reaching level 50 and completing the Vern story, it is not the same. So how does it work? So let's get over to the NPC here, the Knowledge Vault machine or Knowledge Transfer machine. Alright. So let's start with the knowledge transfer count first, which is, you can see here, I got mine at 2 out of 9, which means I use this feature on 2 characters so far and I'm allowed to use it for 7 more times. After which point I won't be able to use this feature on this account. Now, why is there a limit to this feature? I presume so people who amassed a certain amount of wealth can't just run unlimited amount of alts, since there are many benefits to them, which go past just the upgrade materials. For example, certain cards you get through the story, engraving quests that you can do on each of the alts boosted in this manner. While you can see Northern Transfer only requires a knowledge of 1 character, which means that you only need to do this story once for yourself for online boosts along with the gold, of course. So the way that you would boost the freshly created character is fairly straightforward. So you create a character, you skip the prologue, you do like 2 quests until you reach Pride Home. And then you talk to the NPC near the triport, you learn the song and you just teleport your stronghold up to this NPC that I just showed. So this robot over here basically looks like something from Borderlands, and you just initiate the knowledge transfer. It will cost you 600 gold to do so. And it will take another 8 hours to complete. But you are free to do anything with that character if you want, but since it's a freshly created character, you can just do whatever else while this timer is running. One key feature to note is this is the only boost that will provide you with the actual gear, so you will get, just as you got the gear at the end of Vern's storyline, you will get the basic 302 gear. So what happens after 8 hours pass is you log on to the character and then you collect the knowledge, at which point you are ported to Trixion, you complete the quest, and there you are. Fresh 50 character that completed the main story until Vern, with a starter 320 gear to progress, including Vern, not until Vern. So you basically are done with the Vern story, so Shoeshire, Vern, all completed. You can pretty much start focusing on doing the endgame activities. Now, from this point, knowledge transfer comes with a certain costs, not just the gold. All these transfers have a gear score associated with them. So 460 for Royandel, 600 for Yorn, and 960 for Phaeton. The very first transfer we didn't really have any item level associated with it, so you could just basically create a character and go. In order to reach these ones, you needed to reach the gear thresholds first in order to actually initiate the knowledge. If we hover over the knowledge transfer itself, as you can see, a knowledge count starts to increase as you boost your alts. So how does it work now? Well, basically every time you run through the certain story content, you start to accumulate these knowledge points for that transfer. So you can see here I have 4 out of 5 characters who progress the story in Royandel. And since I already boosted 1 alt using this feature, the manual count I need to do for my 3rd boost is now 5. Which means that my next character will need to run the story manually in order for me to boost the next alt, which we can clearly see in the list here. So it increases by 2 every time I boost a single. So 1 completed character required 1 knowledge count, which we get as I said. Each knowledge count you obtain is by 1 character completing that specific story quest. So Royandel Heretic, once you finish Royandel, you get +1 in this list here. So I completed 4 times, I have 4 out of 5. Which means that for every boost you do, you will have to run a story manually after it. Now, another key difference is the gear. You no longer get the gear associated with the story you completed. You just pay to skip the story content once you unlock it. hence this gear requirement icon here. So for example, if you want to pay the boost for each content, you will need to first reach it through the regular gearing, then pay increasing amount of gold. So in order to do the full story boost, it would cost you like 4,600 gold and 8 hours each time. One more thing to keep in mind is that you're free to play the character while transfer is happening, so you can still do activities you are doing at that point. It is just the story itself that you can kinda do, but it's a waste since in 8 hours all the main story quests are gonna be completed. Now, that is for the knowledge transfer. So let's move on to the second feature, which is the training. This camp is located right here in your stronghold. It was just above, so the knowledge transfer is here, and the training camp. Unlike knowledge transfer, this feature is much more simple and entirely free. Training camp is a time-based combat XP gain for your characters that are 2 levels below your highest level character. So as you can see here, example, my paladin is allowing me to boost any character that is below 53 to level 53 after a certain period of time. As you can see here, at this point, I can only boost one character at a time. But after a certain research in my stronghold, I will be able to use 2 at one point. We got the general training, which gives you 4,000 XP. So let me just skip over this. Go straight to the 2Z thing. Yeah, general training, as you can see here. So we got the general training, which gives you 4,000 XP per minute up to maximum 7 days. And that one can be used by all characters at the same time as long as you got the slots for them. While special training here will provide you with a higher XP gain of 7,000 XP per minute, but it can only be used by one character on account. So if I had both of these unlocked, I would only be able to use the ultimate stress buster on one of these characters. Now, as you can see, when I click on the character that is currently under training, so in about 5 hours and 24 minutes, we got about 2.3 million XP accumulated. It's a great feature that you should definitely be utilizing on all your alts, as eventually all of them will be just one level below your main character. So while it says here that eligible characters combat level for training is 50 to 52, this essentially means up to 53, since it fills the bar of 52. So you basically, once you reach 53, this is when it actually stops. So it's just one level below your character. It's not like 2, as this would imply. Alright, now that we covered the combat training part, and as a final mention is gonna be lab research that increases your honing chances for lower tiers. So after you reach a certain threshold in your gear progression, there are systems such as these in place to help you own gear at reduced requirements and a higher chance of success. So each time you reach next tier, so once your gear reaches 600 for the first time, you're allowed to equip 802 gear, which will unlock tier 1 research that reduces the cost of hones and increases chance of success by 20%. So hones that used to be 80% will now be 100%, making your alt progression much faster than it was the first time you did it. Same happens once you reach tier 3 progression and you equip your first set of 1302 gear, at which point tier 2 is going to be able to be boosted or researched the same way as tier 1 was. While tier 3 progression is gated into sections, so once you reach 1385, which is still tier 3, you will get 10% chance and reduced cost at everything that is below that point, so it's easier for your alts to catch up. So as you can see, all these features are reason why Lost Ark is such a great game to have alts in. Not only that they help your main character with its progression, they themselves get easier time reaching the same point and giving you something different to do while you wait for those daily and weekly lockouts. Hopefully this video was informative. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Lost Ark content, and if you got any more questions, you can ask it in the comments down below or join me on Twitch where I stream 5 times a week. For now, Crow Templar out. Salute and bye!